This isn't an I told you so video. No, this isn't an I told you so video. That's not my style, folks. Mind you, I did tell you so, didn't I? I did tell you. Field of Gold, I said, put a proper jockey on it. Ideally, someone like Keane. Said it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, actually. Name checked him. Put Keane on it, and it'll win. The horse is a crackerjack of an horse. And it got beat in the 2000 Guineas because of jockey error. I believed it wholeheartedly. I said it 2 days before John Gosden decided to believe it and bulleted his jockey, old Kieran there. Now, I'm not a bad person, or try not to be. Yes, I'm grumpy and I moan. I moan about everything. I was having a moan that Saturday that I did the video, because I bet the horse that day, and it was part of, I think it was a treble or an acca. Everything else come in. That was the only one that let me down. I was gutted. It was a fourfold, that's what it was. That was the only one that let me down. And I said at the time, I'd a better jockey have been on, it would have won. No doubt about it. I said, but Shoemark, good jockey though he is, isn't best in class, and you need best in class or someone approaching that. I also said at the time that I put a few quid on with Betfair after Dettori left the Gosden job on Keane to be the next stable jockey. I did know he's got family ties with the trainer he rides for over there. I did know all that. I know he likes Ireland, I know all of that. But I still thought it was an ideal fit. I think he's a brilliant jockey. He rides a lot for Lions, who trains a lot for the Prince. That's Abdullah. And Abdullah has a few with Gosden, of which Field of Dreams is probably the standout. Gosden's had 2 or 3 years in, by his standards, in the wilderness without the real top animals, or at least a couple of years. And I thought Field of Gold could have took him back to the pinnacle. And I think it probably still can, especially based on that performance today. And I just said with Shoemark, it wasn't just that he gave it too much to do, but he did. I think his position throughout the race was pretty poor. I really do. Do I think he's a crap jockey? No, I don't. But I think he's not best in class, and many say, oh, the best horse will always win. The jockey only steers it. I think you're wrong. I really do, those that say that. And I think it was proved today. Keane today jumps out, berth number 9, right on the outside, and stays there. It's almost unheard of that. He doesn't want to go forward, but he doesn't want to come in for cover. And they all move in for cover, but he's seen it lose its last race when it should have probably won. He doesn't want to pull it in case it gets banged about a bit or boxed in later. He's brave. He thinks, right, we're going to take the outside berth all the way, and I just hope the horse doesn't decide to over-race or to tank to the top. I just hope I can keep the lid on it and go when I'm ready to go. And that's what he did, and I thought it was a masterful ride. I thought it was really, really good. That said, you can say, well, it wasn't a masterful ride. The horse was just much better than the rest. Well, I think the horse was much better than the rest in the 2000 Guineas in England. But I think the jockey let it down. And I said at the time, if it meets the Godolphin Beast again, I think the Gosden horse will win. After what I've seen today, I think it even more so now. I just wish Keane had got that job before pigging Shoemark. It'd have been about 300 or 400 quid richer now. I mean, they've all been wasted by now. They've all gone. But I like to collect. We all do. But no, I just think Keane's on the money. I mean, we had many from Ireland commenting, many agreeing with me. And a few were saying, no, he's not that good, Keane. He doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, he doesn't do the other. All I look at is when I watch Irish racing, which isn't all the time, he brings some horses from nowhere, from out the clouds to win. He wins on some horses that I believe shouldn't win. You look at the ride and you think, no, that shouldn't win. And he pulls it over, he drags it over and he gets it there. And I think certain jockeys sometimes lose on horses that should win. And I think that's what Shoemark did the other week. Now, as I turned the TV over, tell a lie, I had it on the same station, UK, RTV, whatever it's called. A race or two later, Shoemark goes and wins on, I think, a 25-1 shot. Then he wins a little bit later on a favourite, so he's had a double, and I'm pleased for him. I don't wish the guy any alarm whatsoever. But I think, in the Gosden stable of old, Shoemark's the number 2. In the Gosden stable of how it's been the last couple of years, he possibly could still be a number 1 in a stable that's pretty good, but not brilliant. But if Gosden wants to go to brilliance again and be challenging Appleby and O'Brien on a regular basis at your Ascots and your Goodwoods, if he gets that better class of horse that he used to have up until a couple of years ago, I don't think Shoemark's your man. I really, really don't. And I think it was proved in the 2000 Guineas 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think what Keane's proved today is he can do it anywhere, on any horse, as long as you give him the right horse. Doesn't always do brilliant when he comes over to England. Doesn't always do brilliant when he goes to America. But he's normally not got the real top-class horses that his contemporaries like your Ryan Moores and your William Buick seem to ride. He doesn't get them yet. But there's no saying he won't in the future. And I think he can be as good as absolutely anybody can. And I think today that was a wonderful ride. But I think it was a wonderful horse. He just kept it uncomplicated, went early, not too early, but didn't want to risk going too late after what happened at Newmarket. Perfection. Absolute perfection. That's the difference for me. Jockey from the top drawer. Jockey that's almost there.